This episode of Southeast Iowa Today is brought to you by Griner Auto Body of Washington, Iowa, using state-of-the-art techniques and decades of experience to get your car back on the road after an accident. Car Doctor of Washington, Iowa. No matter who Frankensteined it, they can fix it, clean it, and customize it. McDonald Boneyard of Keota, Iowa, for all your farm equipment and auto recycling needs. For great food, it's your choice. Your Choice Family Restaurant of Wayland, Iowa. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Come to our cruise-ins this summer on the second Tuesday of the month, June through September. Girling Repair of Winfield, Iowa. If your mower is dead, call Fred, your Husqvarna, Aaron's, and Gravely dealer. Fred also fixes and sells snowblowers. B&B Propane and the family of Jet Stops. Dutch Market and Coffee Talk of Washington, Iowa. Dutch Market can handle all of your grocery needs. They even have a conference room you can use for free. Coffee Talk's drive-thru is open and ready to serve you coffee, energy drinks, sandwiches, baked goods, and ice cream. They all present you the award-winning Southeast Iowa Today. Here's the author of Christie's Journey, The Beat Goes On, and your host, John Bain.
Thank you, announcer Cody Roy of NewEnglandDukes.com for your golden pipes and wonderful introduction. I am at Dunn Brothers Coffee in Burlington, Iowa this afternoon. And the reason I'm here is I did a podcast down the road in Fort Madison, and on the way back, Mark Overberg, who's my guest on this episode, he said, "Hey, I'll just meet you over in Burlington." So that's why I'm here. And once again, thanks to Dunn Brothers Coffee in Burlington for allowing us to use this wonderful conference room that I am standing in now. Mark Overberg is running for the open Board of Education position for the Mount Pleasant Community School District. And let's go ahead and show you what he has to say. Mark, thank you so much for being on Southeast Iowa Today with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, John. I appreciate you taking the time to interview me.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Now, you, sir, want to be involved with some public service as an elected official, and that would be on the Mount Pleasant Community School District Board of Education. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I got to ask you a question. What are you thinking, man?
Well, I was going to the board meetings and listening to what was going on, and then Sarah stepped down from it, and I was always brought up that instead of complaining, be part of the solution. So I figure if I can run and get elected, I could maybe help with this to move forward with stuff.
And that's a great philosophy, and I hope more people subscribe to that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts if the election, correct me if I'm wrong, but the election is May 13th.
Yes.
And today is Friday, April 18th, and you and I are sitting at Dunn Brothers Coffee in Burlington, Iowa. I was at doing a podcast in Fort Madison, and you so graciously drove over here to Burlington and met with me this afternoon. So thank you for that. What do you think a board member should be doing for the Mount Pleasant Community School District, and how would you be effective in that position?
I think to be on the board, it starts with the kids and the teachers. We got to put them first and see what they need. And what I mean by that is I feel, if I get on the board, listen to the teachers if there's stuff going on and if there's any issues to get it to where they need to be. How to do that? This will be all new to me. I'd be open to the suggestions, go around, meet the teachers, see what I can do for them, and see if the board needs to do what the board needs to do for them.
Now, do you personally know any of the people that serve on the board at this time, or even the school superintendent?
Yeah, I know them from the board meetings, and I've met with them before, so yeah, I know everybody that's on the board.
Right. So have you discussed running with any of them?
I just asked them what I had to do to run, so I got all the paperwork and stuff and turned in, and we'll go from there.
Were any of them excited about the prospect of you running?
I really couldn't tell. I mean, they didn't say anything negative toward me. I mean, they gave me the information I needed, and so yeah.
Well, that's good that they provided that for you. That's important. And as I said, April 18th is when we're recording this right now. When is the deadline? Because right now, as far as we know, you're running unopposed.
That is right. I'll find out today at 5 o'clock. The the paperwork has to be in today at 5 o'clock today.
Okay, and then correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you're going to have a meet and greet at the VFW in Mount Pleasant on April 22nd.
Yeah, I thought that'd be something that if people want to come out and meet me and get to know me and to get my views on things and where I stand on stuff. I figure it's just going to be informal. If they want to come out and meet us or meet me and get to know me, and then I can kind of go from there. And I asked my wife, and she might make some chocolate chip cookies to bring for everybody.
You had me at chocolate chip cookies. Oh man, boy. I don't know if it's the time of day or what, but boy, that sounds really good right now. So what's going to be nice is you're going to do that on April 22nd. This episode that we're recording right now will premiere on April 22nd. So hopefully maybe some people will have a chance to watch that even before the meet and greet, and maybe based on what we discuss, we'll have some questions for you on that.
Okay.
Now, tell me what makes you, Mark, qualified to be a member of the Board of Education for the Mount Pleasant Community School District.
Okay, John. I feel with my upbringing and to be qualified for it, I hired in at Goodyear in Mount Pleasant 36 years ago as a production operator, worked my way up, and now I'm production manager out there. And also I farmed for 25 years. So farming and running the financials and stuff, the business sense, I feel I have, because you got to have business sense about you to farm because of all the uncertainties with Mother Nature and everything in prices. So I figure with that in my experience at work of the education part of it, the training I had in communication, working with people, problem solving, I feel I'm qualified for that.
Well, it sure sounds like it. I mean, whether people want to equate this or not, the Board of Education is a business. I know everything, you always hear it's for the children, it's for this, or it's for this, but if you ever go to one board meeting and you listen to the financials that take place, there's millions of dollars that are running through, and these people are making those decisions for all the taxpayers and the students.
Yeah, since I've been going to the board meetings and the financial, it was a real eye-opener for me. I mean, like you said, they're talking millions of dollars that they're dealing with that they are responsible for. And they do have a tough job. And I give them all the respect they duly deserve because it is a big job.
It truly is a big job. And when you put the financials aside, you've got lots of people's futures in your hands in the decisions you make. And what I mean is the students. You're trying to put the best curriculum that you can for the students and prepare them for 21st century life.
Yes, you're exactly right, John. And like you said, there's a little over 1,000 kids in the Mount Pleasant School District. And like you said, their future is what we need to protect. You know, get them ready for the workforce, you know, whether it be going to college or a trade school or straight into the manufacturing workforce. You know, we need to get them prepared for it and make sure they are equipped for it, you know, so they can succeed.
Right. And speaking of experience, you know, we talked off camera. You said you went right out of high school into the working field. Yes. And the experience that you just talked about moments ago, you can't get sitting at a desk. It's real life experience.
And Dad always called it school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you learn from your mistakes, and as long as you learn from them and admit when you make a mistake. That's the big thing. You just got to humble yourself, and if you mess up, own up. And that's kind of the way I look at things, and be transparent about it. Just be straightforward, and yeah, they may be mad at you, but I feel that you'll have their respect.
Yeah, and we're all supposed to forgive each other, and the line, the truth shall set you free. So the truth is not easy. The truth is not always fun, but the truth is.
Exactly. I agree 100% with you on that, John.
So there's some things going on right now with the Mount Pleasant Community School District Board of Education. They want to kind of change the makeup of the school system as far as where children actually learn in what buildings and that sort of thing. And to the tune, correct me if I'm wrong on the number because I cover different school districts, but I think it's like to the tune of $40 million.
It's they downsized a little bit. It's about 35 million.
Only 35.
Yeah.
Well, it's 5 million here or there amongst friends.
That's right.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
I feel what they're doing needs to be done, and what I mean by that is I've been to some of the elementary schools, and that's what they're wanting the bond issues for is a new elementary school because of the class sizes and because of everything, the federal guidelines you have to go with the classrooms and everything. It is a need, but do we need a $35 million expense? And what I mean about being transparent is they keep calling it Central Campus, and it's actually going to be 2 campuses. There's going to be half of it at the old Iowa Wesleyan campus, and then they'll keep one grade school or elementary school open and put an expansion there and close 3 of them. And I feel at this time that there's other options out there. And what I mean by that is I've done a little homework on my own about looking into module schoolrooms. When I went to school 40 plus years ago, we had them back then.
I had one. I went to Davenport Community Schools in my early elementary years. In first grade, I was in a mobile unit classroom, and in 5th grade, I was in a mobile unit classroom.
I think we could take the money and use it, and there's room at the elementary schools. The one they want to expand for this bond issue anyway, so there's room there. The one in Salem has room to do.
Yeah, but here's the problem with those. They're not sexy looking.
Well, it don't need to be sexy. It's not what's on the outside. It's what we're doing on the inside and what's coming out of the school. It isn't the appearance of it. It could be a rundown old barn as long as you got the academics in there and the teachers in there and the students learning. It's what comes out of there is what is most important.
I can't argue that. One of the things that I know that folks, especially in the Salem area, their school, their students are doing real well in the location. I think they're achieving higher goals and success than the other elementary schools. And Salem's the one they want to close.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is once a school is closed in a small town, the small town's never the same. Am I right on that?
No, you're absolutely right. There's a local gas station there, a convenience store, and their income business would drastically drop because of if they closed the school. And, they talked about, so you brought up Salem, and they talked about Salem being a high cost. It's all electric and this and that. So I brought up, what about solar panels? I done a little research on that. There's 30% from the federal government for 30% rebate on installing it. There's 25% on the cost from the REAP program. So there's money out there to make it feasible. And
have you checked on how long it takes to get your return on investment on that?
I got somebody working on it right now, and I'm hoping to have that answer Tuesday in my meet and greet in Mount Pleasant.
All right.
He said he's going to do whatever he could to get it to me by then.
Okay.
And there's room at Salem for the modular classrooms. Like I said, you can get them size of 2 classrooms. You can get them fully furnished with the desk and for the kids and the teacher, bathrooms in them. You can get them 4 classrooms. The options out there is endless of what I got going with it. Rough ballpark, to get one there, won't be set up, was about $210,000. So I am looking into it. So like I said, instead of complaining, I try to have a solution coming into it. So I'm not just talking. I like to have facts to back it up.
And how big, what kind of square footage would the module be for the classroom?
It's about 1,600 square foot. It's a 24 by 64, basically double wide.
So could you possibly have 2 classrooms in there?
Yeah, that's big enough for 2 classrooms for 20 students.
Wow.
Yes.
For 200-some thousand?
Yes. That's to get it to Salem. I don't know what it costs to get it fully set and everything. I called another company about that, and they're supposed to get back to me on that.
And I'm sure it would have to be ADA accessible and all of that?
Yep, it meets all the federal guidelines for what a school needs.
Wow. I attended a couple different board meetings, and I actually attended the planning one where it showed they had a gentleman from the architectural company or whatever, and showing things on screen, and nobody ever came up with that idea.
No, and that's brought it up. I will say this about the board, because they did listen, I guess, because part of the proposal was Wisdom Quest to get it to the high school, and it's going to cost roughly $1 million for the building, and they are talking to our local mobile home dealer in Mount Pleasant to see what he can do to do that at a lower cost. So with that being said, it did.
That's encouraging.
Yes, it is. It didn't fall on deaf ears. They are, they did take it. They are looking into it. So when they said that the other night, I was like, wow, okay.
Pleasantly surprised?
Yes, I was. Yes.
Now, I understand that there is a survey for the folks that live in the Mount Pleasant Community School District that the board has sent out.
Yes.
Are you familiar with that survey?
Yeah, they started sending it out 2 weeks ago on a Monday. They were going to send it out to the whole Mount Pleasant School District, about 5,000 postcards, and it'd have a QR code on it that you can scan, fill out the survey, and submit. If you did have access to the technology today, you could go to the central office, pick up a paper form, and do it. It has to be turned in by Sunday at midnight.
This coming
Sunday.
Which would be April 20th.
Yes.
And that's also Easter Sunday.
Yes. And it was when I was at the board meeting last Monday, I brought up, I haven't gotten mine yet, it's been 7 days. I haven't got it. Well, they're coming, they hired an outside firm to do all this. And no fault to the school board, I have still yet to get mine on Friday. And
today, April 18th.
Yes. I can get on KIOJ's website and scan the QR code, but they said that isn't working all the time either. But my daughter did it, so I'm going to try it tonight when I get home, because I didn't get it in the mail today. And
now, before we go any further, like direct mail pieces, I know in my past I worked for a television station, and once in a while we would have gimmicks or promotional things that we were doing on our nightly news, and we sent direct mail pieces directly to people's homes, and it was to so they could play like a bingo type
yeah,
game
yeah.
while they also watched our news at the
Yeah.
same time. And the direct mail company at that time, and this, we're going back 15, 20 years, so the numbers may have changed, but back then they told us if we got a 3% response, we were doing great, and we were sending out like 300,000 of these things, and 3% is doing great. I wonder how much the school board, their percentage rate of return, will they consider successful in actually getting a true sense of what the community wants.
When I talked to John Monday night at the school board meeting, because I was asking about that very topic, he said they were going to send out about 5,000 of them in the school district, and he said he was looking at 1,000. So 20% is what they're hoping for a return. And you know, with this, you know, like I said, it's no fault of the school board that we are not receiving them. I want to make that clear. But I think the school board should have stepped in and say, okay, we've had something funky. Let's push it out a week to make sure everybody gets a chance to fill out this survey. Because like I said, it's talking $35 million, and it in fact affects everybody because of your property taxes.
Yeah.
So it needs to be fair across the board, and be transparent about it, and just say, you know, something happened. We don't know what, but we're going to push it out and hopefully correct the problem.
Right.
So that's my opinion, and that's all it is.
All right. And you're kind of a common sense kind of guy.
Well, I try to be. Yeah.
I believe that's part of your campaign's
Yeah.
unofficial campaign.
Unofficial campaign. One of the guys, Kurt, told me he had it, and he said, more common sense, less nonsense. So we'll see how that takes off, and we'll go with it if it takes off. Yeah.
Well, if I know my audience, and I think I do, I think they're going to like that.
Well, thank you.
We've been talking. It's amazing, you know, when you get on a roll and you're having a good conversation, the time goes by very quickly. Yeah. We're at 20 minutes and 18 seconds of podcast excellence. Okay. We've talked about a lot of things. Is there something I should have asked you about that I didn't, that you want to touch base on or make a point of? Well,
my big thing, you know, with the bond issue and what they want to do with the school, you know, to me, it's the safety of the kids. And what I mean by that is you go down to two drop-offs, and I got the numbers, and they're back from 2022 when they did the count of the cars going by. And Broadway, which would go by the campus, was 3,000 vehicles. Now that's when Iowa Westland was in session, but they do it in the summer months. And my concern with that is investors bought the dorms and the other building that's going to be apartment buildings. So that traffic's going to be, to me, at least that. And then when you're dropping off, if there's going to be 400, you know, kids out there, you got all the parent traffic. And then, you know, with having the grade alike, you know, the parents could be dropping off at both schools. So, you know, you drop off here, drop off at the other one. So I'm concerned about the traffic flow, and I know it don't seem like much, but it's by the railroad tracks, and if kids are walking, and, you know, it just, I don't know. I could be totally wet on it, but for the numbers that I looked at, I think to me, it raises a concern. And like I said, we got to put the children first, and, you know, also the teachers, and get them what they need so they have the right tools to educate our future.
Definitely. Besides April 22nd, the meet and greet, is there any, if someone can't attend that, is there another way someone can reach out to you?
Yes. I'm actually I'm pushing around the idea of maybe having another one the following Sunday at the Salem Library at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
That would be the 27th.
Yes.
Okay.
And to do that, but yeah, they can get hold of me. I'm on the Facebook page. I have a Facebook page. I mean, they can get hold of me that way. I'm on the one will put this broadcast on. So yeah, they can get a hold of me. Just have to be patient with me that I can't answer right away because, like I say, I have a day job and I got to go there.
Do you have an email address?
Yes, I do. I guess it's mkoverberg@gmail.com.
Okay, and what's neat about this, through the magic of podcasting, while you were saying it, I actually put that on the screen.
Oh, okay.
So the folks saw it as well. But for the folks that are only listening to it, can you say it one more time?
It's mkoverberg@gmail.com.
Okay, well, Mark, thank you so much for your time and being on the podcast. I really appreciate it. I wish you the best of luck. I wish everybody that's on the Board of Education for Mount Pleasant Community School District the best of luck. And I know everybody has the concerns of the students in mind, and hopefully the taxpayers as well. And once again, thanks for being on.
Oh, thank you for meeting me and taking the time to do this for me. I greatly appreciate it, John.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mark Overberg. We wish you the best on your election run for the Mount Pleasant Community School District. If you would like to meet Mark in person, make sure to get to the VFW Hall in Mount Pleasant on April 22nd and say hello and ask him questions in person. Thank you for watching. And hey, do me a favor, give this episode a like and make sure to follow and subscribe. It's free. I really appreciate it. Thanks to my sponsors, Griner Auto Body, Car Doctor, McDonald Boneyard, Your Choice Family Restaurant, Girling Repair, B&B Propane, and the family of Jet Stops, Dutch Market, and Coffee Talk. I'm your host, John Bain. Stay friendly, Southeast Iowa.